Hello, so this is my first YouTube video, so bear with me. Um, in this video, I'm going to be making a bioactive vivarium for my crested gecko. This will be the first part of a two-part series, so it'll be mainly the hardscape. So I just wanted to talk about some things that I would change or do differently. First off, you'll be able to see at the bottom of the tank is a little structure I made. It was meant to be a hide, um, modeled after Yoda's hut in Star Wars. I ended up scrapping the idea, but I do have it there for, well, basically till the end of this video. I ended up changing it very last minute and taking it out, but I just wanted to let you guys know. So I would definitely add, if I could do this again, I would definitely add more branches that were horizontal, kind of like across the top of the tank. Um, but it still ended up being okay. Here you'll see I'm just kind of filming in the last of the sticks on the sides. I was at the end of my third can of foam, my last can. If I had another one, I would definitely have waited. If I could do it again, I would definitely have waited for another can because it ended up being really difficult to get the last out of the can and then chip away later after it cured, just because there were so many holes and gaps in the foam that I couldn't get it completely smoothed out all the way around. And also, I feel like I had to compromise a little bit about how much foam I wanted and how many sticks I ended up adding. So I would definitely go back and just hold off and add more foam. I was just being kind of impatient. Here you'll see I'm mixing together the mixture for the background that I'm going to silicone onto the foam, which ended up being fine. I actually enjoy, or I liked it better when I added the bigger chunks and silicone that on later. Um, it turned out a little, I mean, it was a little bit lighter than I wanted, just the coconut husk, but that's not really a big deal. So here you'll see I'm starting to silicone the mixture onto the background, and I started off by using a paintbrush, but I ended up just using my fingers because it was a lot easier to get into all the crevices in the background with my fingers. And also, another thing to add is with all the branches, I mean, I would add some if I could, but it was really, really difficult to chip away at the foam and silicone everything and then later go back and clean everything up with all those branches. It was really difficult to get into the back and the corners. So just beware, it took me a really long time to just do all those little things because there were so many branches in the way. So yeah, this project, I'm not sure exactly how long it took me, but it took me quite a few hours. It's a 40-gallon tank, so it's a bigger size than minimum for Crested Gecko, a Crested Gecko adult. Um, so it took some time to do all the steps just because it was a bigger space, but I would not go back. I would make my tank bigger if I could. Excuse me. So here I'm starting to put on the mixture finally, and I'm just kind of trying to get into all those crevices. I still didn't even get into all the little cracks in the very back. It was really hard to pack on and like push on the mixture um, in those corners, especially that one that I'm working on right now. And to just like, it was really difficult to get the mixture back there onto the silicone. Um, So if you decide you're going to add sticks to your project like I did, just keep that in mind. It's really, really difficult. Maybe you'll be able to figure out a better process than I did. Another thing that I just want to add is um, the sticks I got, I did sanitize and um, yeah, so I did that. Also, I ordered planter boxes from Amazon that were smaller. I want to say they're 4 inches across. And I definitely am glad that I did that because there are bigger planter boxes, like plastic ones from Lowe's and stuff like that, but they really just were too big for what I wanted, so I did find those on Amazon, and I would definitely recommend you get a huge pack of them. I have so many extra that I'll probably just use for plants around the house. Um, but yeah, I really like that, and I added 5 of them, I believe, to my tank, and yeah, it worked out well. I would add more if I could, if the tank was bigger, but there it it worked out all well. Another thing is on the side where I'm working on right now. Um, I did cut a hole for the food for my crested gecko for the food cups. I ordered the food cups ahead of time so that I could fit it into my tank. So it's just kind of right there. So when I open the door, um, it's right on that ledge, and it's elevated so the crested gecko can get to it, but also it'll blend in to the whole enclosure. So that um, worked out really well. So here I just tipped up the tank to kind of make sure that I got all of the holes and stuff, and I actually ended up running out of silicone between the tank background and making vines myself. I went through about 3 bottles of silicone, and that still wasn't enough. It was pretty much enough. I left it how it is, but it wasn't really enough.